Over the turf of Agronomia Field in Bucharest, week 4 of the Danube American Football League brings us one of the most anticipated rematches of the young season. The Bucharest Titans are home at 2-1, looking to prove they belong among the league's top contenders. But standing across from them is the team that nobody solved yet. The undefeated Kragujevac Wild Boars, a perfect 3-0 and rolling with confidence after a statement win 2 weeks ago. That meeting in Kragujevac wasn't close. The Wild Boar controlled the line of scrimmage, dominated from the opening kick and handled the Bucharest Titans. A 42-7 loss that sent a message across the league. If you want a top spot, you need to go through Serbia. Now the Titans get their shot at redemption. Same opponent, higher stakes, and a chance to show that the result was the exception, not the standard. For Kragujevac, it's simple. Stay unbeaten and tighten their grip on the league. For Bucharest, it's personal. A chance to answer a blowout defend on home turf and change the story of the season. Undefeated meets determined. Serbia versus Romania. The Wild Boars versus the Titans. Week 4 of the DAFL starts now. Good afternoon, everybody. Along me, I'll have Alen Mitescu today. My name is Cosmin Petrescu, and we will be your hosts for this game where, after the coin toss, the Bucharest Titans elected to defer, so they will receive the first kick of the game. The Wild Boars, with a depleted roster today, only 22 players available for this game in Bucharest. 17 degrees Celsius, light rain. It might be even heavier later today. Week number 4 of the DAFL is underway with a kickoff that will be returned, or maybe not. That goes out of bounds and we have a penalty flag. The Bucharest Titans will have the ball from their own 40. So the penalty applies for kicking it out of bounds. Great spot position for the Titans to start this game right here. First chance for the quarterback, Sam Armstead, the American player who already showed this league that he can come with some flashy plays. 1st and 10. Armstead, straight from the shotgun, keeps it on the ground, and that's gonna be good for, oh my, that was a fumble, but luckily for the Titans, after the fumble by Turner, it was recovered right away by Osei Henry, and Osei kept the ball alive, giving the Bucharest Titans a gain of around 4. So 2nd and 6 for the Titans. Once again, in the shotgun is Armstead. This time he will keep it on the ground. The same play with Osei, who gets the first down. And after a gain of 7, the Bucharest Titans are moving the chains for the first time during this game. The tackle made by John Rincon. And now 1st and 10 from the Wild Boars 43. Armstead keeps it on the ground again with Osei, who goes on the right side of the field, but not too much this time. The Wild Boar defense answers. A gain of around 1 here for Henry Osei, who's already getting a lot of heavy plays. So far, the Titans are keeping the ball on the ground at the start of this game, trying to get closer to the end zone. Second and 9. Once again, that's a running play for the Titans. A gain of around 4 this time. Bill Schreiber with his first play in this week 4. Trying to penetrate right down the middle against the Wild Boars defense. Keep in mind, 2 weeks ago, the Wild Boars won 42-7. It was dominating. And now Armstead under pressure, a flag flies. He is brought down for a sack by Elio Trajkovic Lopez, but we'll have to wait on the call. That's going to be a penalty. That was an offside on the Wild Boars. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty. And the Titans are going to gain 5 yards from that. Vlad Rus is the head referee for this game. The down judge is George Rusu. Cristi Balta, the back judge. Vlad Tiberiu, the umpire. And Dejan Paunovic, the line judge. 3rd and 2 here. That's another flag. And I think they're going to go back from the initial spot before the penalty against the Wild Boars. This time a false start against the Titans, and they're going to be back down here. So a 3rd and 1 becomes now a 3rd and 6. Armstead once again in the shotgun. One back behind him. That was Schreiber. He is looking for Schreiber. Caught the football, but he is tackled for a loss. Great play by the Wild Boars defense. And with a 4th and 10 coming up, everybody's wondering what's going to happen here. Are the Titans going to punt it out, or will they force it, and will they try to convert a 4th down with 9.5 to go? Well, it looks like they're going to go for it, or at least they settle for that. They might try to draw an offside from the Kragujevac defense, and so far the defense will not flinch, and they're going to accept the delay of game. A 5-yard penalty for the Bucharest Titans, and now the special teams are on the field, so they will punt it for sure. It was a chance to draw an offside, but even with that, that wouldn't have been enough, because that would have been a 4th and 5 after that. Of course, with a 4th and 5, it was a little bit less risky to go for it with a higher chance of converting it. But that was not the case here. A very experienced team. I'm speaking about Kragujevac Wild Boars. They were calm, they were disciplined, and they were not fooled by that setup from the Titans. There's a punt coming up. Bigo Mustafa acting as the punter here. He puts it high. That ball rolls almost into the end zone. And unfortunately for the Titans, it is not caught before reaching the end zone. So the Wild Boars will have it from their own 20. Or I might be mistaken from where I'm standing right now. I thought I was in the end zone. Actually, it is not, and that means a very difficult spot to start for the Kragujevac Wild Boars. That was a great punt after all. So a punt that sent the ball inside the Wild Boars 5. They're gonna start from their own 3-yard line. Isaiah Green, the quarterback here for the Wild Boars. First offensive play for the Serbian team. 1st and 10 from their own 3. Green keeps it on the ground. He'll try to run it himself. Mustafa cannot tackle him. Green is still up and he's going. He's at the 50, going out of bounds, close to midfield. So the very first play for the Wild Boars, and already a huge play for the Serbian team, courtesy of Isaiah Green, who was unstoppable this time. He spotted him out of bounds at his own 40. So I was a little bit generous, but nevertheless, a 37-yard run for Isaiah Green, who has it again. This time keeps it with the running back. And that's a very good tackle there for the Bucharest Titans. The tackle was made by Marian Stoyan. Six-yard gain here for the Wild Boars. Second and 4. Green once again in the shotgun. Keeps it on the ground. That's a great zigzag there by John Rincon. Eventually brought down by the Bucharest Titans defense. Bego Mustafa along Silviu Lungu, combining for that tackle there, but it is enough for a first down in favor of the Wild Boars. First and 10, and another flag is flying out here. That's going to be a false start against the Wild Boars. They're going to be back down for 5 yards. The Wild Boars coach not happy with that call, saying that somebody from the Titans defense moved first, but they're going to stay with this 5-yard penalty against the Serbian team. Green in the pistol. Play action. Looks it deep. That's a long throw, and it is incomplete. Almost caught by Dimitrije Novakovic. The ball is slippery today, as I was saying. We have a light rain here in Bucharest, and that might come into play for both teams. That was also covered there by Paul Voda. Voda putting enough pressure there on the wide receiver, Dimitrije Novakovic. Not letting him catch that football. 2nd and 15 from the 50. Another play action. Green looks deep once again, and this time he connects for a touchdown with Dimitrije Novakovic. Touchdown Wild Boars. A 50-yard strike by Isaiah Green. Dimitrije Novakovic with the catch. And this is the first touchdown of the game. 6-0 in favor of the Wild Boars. The question right here for the Serbian team, what will they do? I told you that they have a depleted roster. Usually they go for the extra point, but a lot of players are missing from the special teams. It looks like they're gonna try the extra point here. Dimitrije Novakovic, the player who caught that football for the touchdown, is also the kicker for this one. Strahinja Miletic will be the holder. So Miletic, Vakovic, the kicker for the extra point. And he splits the uprights. And the Kragujevac Wild Boars are up on the board 7-0. Great start for the Wild Boars already, so they stopped the Titans on the first drive of the game. Then, even though they had a very difficult spot, being forced to get the get-go from their own 3, they went all 97 yards for the touchdown, and they are now up on the board 7-0. Can the Titans answer? Of course, the momentum is right now in favor of the Wild Boars after the dominating win 2 weeks ago. Opening the score here, the Titans really need this. And the game will resume with a kickoff from the 30 for the Wild Boars. Henry Osse and Chad Turner waiting for that turn, but for the second time in a row, this is another penalty for the Wild Boars. The Titans get another start from their own 40. Last time they gained around 20 yards and then they were forced to punt. They also committed some mistakes that resulted in some penalties. And those penalties really affected their drive. So the Bucharest Titans with 2 wins and 1 loss. The only team that defeated them is the one that is standing in front of them right here, Kragujevac Wild Boars. They started the DAFL with a win at home against the Bucharest Rebels, and then they defeated the Sofia Bears. Now another flag, probably another false start. The game is stopped already. Henry Osse had the football. What I was mentioning, that was a false start. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Titans.
Congratulations. You did well.
This is never good for the start of the drive when you're getting a 5-yard penalty before even snapping it the first time. But let's see what they can do here. Armstead in the shotgun. The snap was a little low. Armstead in motion. This is a bootleg. Throws it deep, but incomplete. The intended receiver was Chad Turner, well covered by the Kragujevac Wild Boars defense. And that's going to be a 2nd and 15 for the Bucharest Titans.
Open knife.
A lot of movement here on the Wild Boars defense.
What's the ball?
Armstead once again in the shotgun. It was a man in motion. I think it was Turturanu. Armstead here looking for Turner, and it is broken up. The hand from Luka Stevanovic. And a 3rd and 15 coming up. Probably the Titans can also play this as a 2-play set, trying to gain some yards here and maybe going for it on 4th down. Of course, if they get enough distance here in order to be manageable. Everything is risky. Armstead in motion. Armstead throws it deep. Once again looking for Turner. Once again well covered by the Wild Boars defense. And this time Stefan Milojevic is the one who was covering him. Considering the fact that this is a third and this is a 4th and 15, my bad. And they're at their own 34. The Titans will definitely punt it here. Bigo Mustafa once again punting the football. Dimitri Novakovic waiting on the return for the Wild Boars. Mustafa puts it up. This is a beautiful high punt and it gets an unlucky bounce this time for the Titans. Last time Mustafa brought the football into the Wild Boars 5. Right now he did it in the 20, but that could have been even better, at least considering after how it looked like when he kicked that ball high in the air. So second drive for the Wild Boars, starting from their own 19 here. Up by 7 on the board. We're still in the first quarter of this game. Green keeps the football on the ground. The run is on the left side and it is good enough for around 5 yards. John Rincon forced to get outside of the field of play. 2nd and 6 coming up here for the Wild Boars. Kragujevac's a very experienced team, so even though they have a depleted roster, as I was mentioning at the start of the broadcast, they are still the heavy favorites here to win this game and stay undefeated in the 2026 season of the DAFL. Second and 6, once again Rincon gets the football. He splits the first tackle and then he is brought down by Silviu Lungu. Lungu saving the huge play for the Titans here. If he would have missed that tackle, probably nobody would have been able to stop Rincon as he was moving fast. But that was good enough for a fresh set of downs in favor of the Wild Boars. 1st and 10 right now from their own 32. They moved the chains for the first time during this drive. So 1st and 10. This is an audible right there. A lot of talk between Isaiah Green and Trajkovic Lopez. Green keeps it himself, running on the right side. He flips it on the right here and out of bounds goes John Rincon. Very good tackle there by Bigo Mustafa and Stefan Kalinkov. They were brought their entire force. They brought their entire force here to force him to get out of bounds on that play. If I heard well, there are 3 minutes and 30 seconds left until the end of the first quarter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure right now. Vlad Rus just announced the team, so 3 minutes and 30 seconds until the end of the first quarter in this game. The Wild Boars up 7. 2nd and 4 here. Green on a pistol. Not very well protected, but he throws it in motion and it is caught by Alexa Stevanovic. Stevanovic trying to break a tackle. He is stopped eventually by Luca Roșu. Another huge gain here for the Kragujevac Wild Boars. And right now they are in the red zone, moving the chains all the way to the 18-yard line of the Bucharest. Great connection on the previous play between Green and Stevanovic. First and 10 from the Titans 18. The ball stays on the ground. Novakovic on the left side. From behind. Good tackle by Marian Stoyan. A gain of 9 here for Novakovic. And we have a timeout. First timeout called by the Bucharest Titans during this game. They're trying to gather up right here after allowing a lot of yards during this first 2 drives in this game. They're down by 7, and right now Kragujevac is once again knocking on the door. Already inside the 10 with a 2nd and 1 up next. So let's see if Bojan Kovacevic, the head coach of the Bucharest Titans, found the answers here for an offense. So far, is getting every opening in this game. This is Green. Looking on the right, the ball is caught, but a very good tackle there, a tackle for a loss. It was Dragoș Voda stopping that play where Bogdan Shundovic was the one for the Wild Boars. This is a loss of 8. So a tackle courtesy of Voda. Third and 8 coming up for Kragujevac. Green stays in the pocket, looks for the end zone. End zone found, 6 points on the board. Another touchdown for the Wild Boars. John Rincon with a catch. And they are up 13-0 with the extra point coming up here for Kragujevac. Once again, Isaiah Green showing his experience, not flinching in the pocket. He had a lot of patience and eventually threw that football right to the open man. Isaiah Green this time will try to split the uprights. Strahinja Milanic is the holder here. So for the extra point, Green, no, that's a trick play, and he lost the football. It goes out of bounds, and it stays 13-0 in favor of Kragujevac Wild Boars as we are closing on the first quarter. A few minutes left.
Offside.
Well, looks like we have a penalty, so the danger did not get away yet for the Titans, so they're gonna re-kick. That was an offside against the Titans, so they have another chance here to put that extra point on the board, or even go for two if they want to try the conversion. But as I'm seeing right now, Green is not on the field, so they will probably go more conventional right here. Once again, Dimitar Novakovic, the one who acted as the kicker last time, is there to put that ball between the uprights, and Strahinja Miletic on the hold. The flag flies once again, and that's a false start and the 5-yard penalty against the offense. So the extra point just got a little bit more complicated. It should be a simple play, but it never is in football, especially when the special teams are having so many injuries and so many unavailable players for a game like this. Right now the kick is a little bit far away. The hold is good, and it goes right down the middle for the extra point. Kragujevac 14, Bucharest nothing. Another great start for this undefeated team. So far, they made it look easy, going up by 14 in this first quarter, and they don't look to take the foot off the gas so far. This is a team that's dominated here in the DAFL, as I mentioned before. They are 3-0 after winning against all the opponents they had during this season. The Wild Boars opened with a win against the Sofia Bears. Then they defeated the Bucharest Rebels. And like I mentioned before, 2 weeks ago at home, they also won against the Bucharest Titans. The Titans who defeated both the Rebels and the Bears. Keeps on raining here in Bucharest. Around 14 degrees Celsius right now, and the capital of Romania here at Agronomia Field. Once again, Turner and Osse waiting for the return. The ball takes a bounce, and once again it goes outside of the field of play for the third time in a row. The Wild Boars with a penalty, and we have some extracurricular activities here on the field. The spirit's running high, and this does not look good. Very fast, trying to. They were racing. Happened away from the ball. I was keeping my eyes on the ball. So on that side of the field, right now we are for the call. The referees are trying to figure it out. Probably that's going to be a long meeting because a lot of events took place after that football went out of bounds. All I saw was the players from both teams running to each other. They were pushing, shoving. It was not pretty, but sometimes contact sport like football gets the emotions running high, and things like that are happening often on the football field.
Oh, Mike.
Until they make their decision once again, I would like to welcome everybody who joined us here on the broadcast on the DAFL, a league that was founded this year in 2026 with 4 teams, 2 from Romania, 1 from Serbia and 1 from Bulgaria. Once again, my name is Cosmin Petrescu. I'm happy to be your host for this game here in Bucharest, where it keeps on raining. The Bucharest Titans were not lucky with the weather this year, even though we had some great days in Bucharest. But let's listen on a call. So we have 2 unsportsmanlike against the teams. Number 24 from the Bucharest Titans, that's Hakan Arslan, and also Cyril Bonnet from the Kragujevac Wild Boars. Those 2 penalties are offset, and the game will resume with a 1st and 10 from their own 40 for the Bucharest Titans. We are still in the 1st quarter. The Wild Boars are up by 14. First and 10 for the Titans. Armstead looking for the deep ball, and he puts it into the hands of Chad Turner, who gets the catch, tackled down by Stefan Milovic. First and 10 Titans. That was good enough for 11. I was talking about the weather and the fact that the Titans did not have too much luck. Before the first game against the Rebels, it was raining all week long, so the field in Ghencea on the Steaua Rugby Stadium, as they're keeping the ball on the ground here, and they're gaining once again 12 yards here. Billy Schreiber this time finding the gap on the Wild Boars defense. That rugby stadium at Steaua Stadium is made by natural grass, so it was really slippery. Then during the game against the Sofia Bears, in the 3rd quarter, heavy rain, hail included. A thing that was so bad that our broadcast had to stop then. And right now it is raining again, so they are basically 3 out of 3. This time the ball stays with Schreiber, trying to escape the tackle. Schreiber on the right side, he keeps on going and he gains 5. This was a play where disaster was the outcome written all the way from the start, but Billy Schreiber was keep on pedaling, keep on fighting, and he gained 5 yards out of nothing here. Promising drive for the Titans. 2nd and 5 here. The clock is ticking. We are winding down on the first quarter. Armstead once again on the ground, and that's a power move by Hasse. He fumbles the football, and the Wild Boars almost got it back, but very fast hands and a lot of agility there for the Titans. The ball was recovered by number 17 that unfortunately I don't have it on my roster, so I'm not really sure who that was, but number 17 recovered the football for the Bucharest Titans. So not only they escape the boo-boo here, they also gain a first down. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and this is the end of the first quarter, I think. Yep, so that's the end of the first quarter. Kragujevac Wild Boars 14, Bucharest Titans nothing. We're ready for the start of the second quarter. The Titans in the red zone, 1st and 10. Sam Armstead breaks the tackle on a move, throws it out of bounds. That was a great catch there by Chad Turner, but unfortunately for him, he was not in the field of play, so that's an incomplete pass. A lot of pressure brought there by the Kragujevac Wild Boars defense, not letting Armstead to stay comfortable in the pocket. And right now I'm seeing Armstead limping. Let's hope everything is fine with the quarterback. Second and 10 from the 15. Armstead with Turner in motion. Schreiber behind him as the only running back on this play, and the game is stopped once again. The Bucharest Titans calling the second timeout during this game. They need to talk it over. This is a very important drive right here for the Titans. If they can reach the end zone, if they can cut this lead in half, they are pretty much in this game, and they really need something. They really need momentum. They need something to believe that they can be the redemption team right here after being blown up one stage ago. The game was played 2 weeks ago in Kragujevac. 42-7 back then for the Serbian team. After the timeout, 2nd and 10, Armstead, he's got a man, and he's got a touchdown. Chad Turner with the catch, and the Bucharest Titans are answering. This is how you do it. 14-6. Turner gets the football, and the question right here is, will they go for two? They usually do. Or will they play conventional and they will try the extra points? That might be a momentum shift here for the Titans, reaching the end zone for the first time during this game. The offense stays on the field. They're gonna go for two. Armstead here with Henry Hasse behind him. Armstead, and he is brought down with a sack. George Peshut not leaving any chance for Armstead to complete that play. So the score stays Kragujevac Wild Boars 14, Bucharest Titans 6. That would have been huge for the Wild Boars to close the gap to only 6, but unfortunately for them, they were not able to protect Armstead as they wished, and Georgia Pesh should reach him, bring him down, and now the score is 14-6, as I mentioned before. The Titans ready to kick off. Talking about momentum shifter right here, if the Titans can stop the Wild Boars and if they can get the ball back, we might have a game here in Bucharest. Bego Mustafa, ready for the kickoff here. Two players waiting for the return, Dimitri Novakovic and Cyril Bonnet for the Wild Boars. This is a bouncy ball, Bonnet got it. And now he will return it on the left sideline and he goes out of bounds. It was well followed there and covered by Luca Roșu. Once again, some extracurricular activities after the end of the play. Two teams that are starting to not like each other when they're playing 2 games in 2 weeks. You might start to be a little bit uncomfortable, to be a little bit irritated by your opponent. And that's what they are feeling it right here, but no penalty flag. And now after the touchdown score by Chad Henry, the Titans defense needs to respond. Can they do it? So far the Wild Boars looked awesome on the offense. There's some issues here with the balls, a lot of footballs flying from one sideline to the other. You just need only one to play, so they got it eventually. Now is here Green in a shotgun. Rincon next to him. Green, well protected with a ton of time, gets on the left side and he throws it incomplete in the direction of John Rincon, but good cover here by the defense from the Bucharest Titans. Second and 10. A split back here for Green. The ball's on the ground. Another flag is flying and probably that's going to be a hold. The play stops here. I'm still waiting for Vlad Rus' announcement. So that's a hold as I was anticipating. Alexa Stevanovic, guilty for that, a 10-yard penalty, and the second down will be repeated, but now a 2nd and 20 for the Wild Boars. It's getting a little bit complicated here. And And now we have a timeout called by the Wild Boars. That's their first timeout during this first half of the game. The Titans starting to get a little bit under their skin right here, as you can feel the momentum shifting after the touchdown moments ago from Chad Henry, and right now the holding call. But of course the Wild Boars, a very experienced team, they know how to get over tough moments like this. So 2nd and 20 after the timeout. Green once again from the pocket, the short pass there, great zigzag by Rimkan, who is still on his feet, and he is brought out of bounds. That's a gain of 10 for the Wild Boars. 3rd and 10 coming up. Huge play for the Titans defense. They need to get the ball back to the offense after opening the first wounds on the board in their favor. Green from the shotgun, a low pass. That might be a catch, and it is, but good enough for only 3 yards. So 4th and 7 coming up. And we have a timeout called by Bojan Kovacevic, the head coach of the Bucharest Titans. The question here is, and we will figure it out after the timeout, will they keep the offense on the field, and will they force to go for it on a 4th and 7, or will they play it conventional and will they kick it out to get the football back to the Titans with a punt? They are up by 8. They still have a firm grip on this lead, but of course an 8-point advantage means only 1 possession. The Titans can come back with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it up, and we are still in the 2nd quarter of this game. Right now I'm seeing Isaiah Green on the field, so probably they're gonna go for it. 4th and 7, if they will get the conversion here, it would be huge for the Kragujevac Wild Boars. If the Titans are getting the football back, they will be in the opponent's field. They're gonna go for it. 4th and 7, Isaiah Green with a deep ball, looking for the end zone, and he's got it! A 60-yard strike for a touchdown. Bogdan Shundovic gets the TD, and the Wild Boars on a 4th and 7 are going all the way. Talking about momentum shifter, what a pass by Isaiah Green. That was a rocket from the pocket, and right now they are up 20-6 on the board. So 20-6 in favor of the Kragujevac Wild Boars, with the extra point coming up. They took a leap of faith there. They had confidence in that play, and they executed it perfectly. Officially a 67-yard touchdown pass. The extra point from Dimitrije Novakovic with Strahinja Milanic as the holder, and the extra point is good. 21-6 the score. Good. 21-6 the score.
Ovo mi je drugi najbolji highlight što sam imao u mom životu u igrama
I know it's early, I know we're just getting started here, and this is only the second quarter, but when they're gonna look back at this play right here, they might say, well, that was the game. Of course, a lot of things can still happen until the end of this one, but that was a huge swing. On a 4th and 7 with a chance to get the football back and have it in the opposing half of the field to allow a touchdown for 67 yards, and instead of being down by 8, you're right now down by 15. Nevertheless, a lot of events can still come up next as the Kragujevac Wild Boars are getting ready for another kickoff. They did not execute it too well so far. Once again, Henry Alsey and Chad Henry are waiting for the football. Here is gonna be Alsey who drops it first, gets it back, and now he is pedaling, breaking a tackle and reaching the 40-yard line. So they are getting used to start from their own 40. They did it multiple times courtesy of out-of-bounds kickoffs from the Kragujevac Wild Boars. This time, Henry Alsey was able to get that football officially to the 37-yard line. So 1st and 10 here with Armstead, having Henry Alsey behind him. There's also a man in motion here for the Titans. That was Mihai. The ball stays on the ground, and even though he was trying to lower his shoulder and advance into the Kragujevac Wild Boars defense, Henry Alsey is brought down for a loss. Very good tackle, a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 up next for the Titans. Armstead, well protected this time. With a lot of time, Armstead flips it up in the air and it is intercepted. The first pick of the game. Wild Boars are still having that, and they're gonna return it. He might go out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Dimitrije Novakovic here with the interception. And there's also an injury there on the field. And looks like we're gonna need some medical attention here. It was a huge hit at the end of that play. And unfortunately, it doesn't look good. This is a scene that we are always hating on seeing here on the football field, but unfortunately this is part of the game. Sometimes football becomes a very violent sport, and out of nowhere hits like this can come up, and 1 second you feel like you're on the top of the world, the next second you're down and you even remember your name. So that's why the medical attention is very important every single time. Let's hope everything is going to be okay and the game can resume without any incidents and without any bad injuries. Well, looks like he is back on his feet, and he can continue the football game. That's also another player that unfortunately I don't have it on. The Bucharest Titans. Usually from 1 week to another there are some changes on the rosters. If I don't receive it, I can get you the name of the players if I don't have it on. I'm trying to do my best with what I got, so hoping to do a pretty decent job, but sometimes things like that happens. I might go during the halftime. Maybe I can find somebody to give me an update about the injury and also the name of the player who, just like I mentioned before, fortunately he's back on his feet. It doesn't look he's gonna need to go to the ambulance, so the game can resume. That was an interception by the Wild Boars. The only things that they are talking right now, if they're going to add a penalty at the end of the play, if that was a helmet-to-helmet hit. So probably they're gonna add that penalty, because right now I'm seeing the markers at the 50. Something is not right here. No, there's no penalty. Looks like the football. Now there's gonna be a penalty, and the football will be placed at the 30-yard line right now. So that's the call right here. They're gonna start from the 30 in the opposing territory. First and 10 for the Wild Boars. Officially from the 29-yard line of the opposing team. The game can resume right here. First and 10. Isaiah Green in the pistol. Rincon next to him. He throws it on the right side, and that's gonna be some hard-earned yards by John Rincon. A gain of 3. Well, it looks like now this is 2nd and 7, something like that. A split backs here at the start of the play. There's a man in motion, Kragujevac Lopez, who gets the football. Lopez converting his opponent into a hurdle, but in the end he is brought down by Lungu. Spectacular play, a gain of only 1 though for the Wild Boars. Kragujevac Lopez getting airborne for a second right there. And now the Wild Boars are asking for a timeout. Timeout here by Wild Boars. We are closing up on the second quarter. We are still having 6 minutes and 11 seconds until the end of this game. I heard the referees announcing that. So 6:11 until the end of the first half. Plenty of time. And a 15-point deficit for the Titans. Wild Boars trying to increase that lead right here. The rain intensifies here in Bucharest. Maybe the game will intensify too. It is pouring right now on Agronomia field, and we have a whistle right now because the ball was not placed on the right spot, so they initially got some extra yardage for the Kragujevac Wild Boars, but they are back on the 26-yard line. A third down here with Isaiah Green. Play action. Green in the pocket, aiming for the end zone, and it is incomplete. Very well covered there. A great play by Cătălin Dinu, who deflected that football, and this is incomplete. Fourth down coming up. Another tough situation here for the Kragujevac Wild Boars, but keep in mind, last time when they were facing a fourth down, they went 67 yards for a touchdown and increased their lead to 15. Can they do it again? From the Titans 26 here. Green, well protected. The pass is caught, and that's not gonna be enough. It was a good pass. It was caught by Dimitrie Novakovic, but the Bucharest Titans defense was able to force him out of bounds, so that was not enough for a first down. They needed, I think, maybe 5 to 6 more yards in order to keep the offense alive. So that's a turnover on downs. The Titans get the football back here, but a very difficult spot to start from their own 8. Armstead keeps it on the ground. Nothing there. They were just pushing into a wall, but the wall was not moving, so no gain on the first down. 2nd and 10 up next. The rain is becoming heavier and heavier here. A great scene if you want to see those gladiators fighting for every single inch. The ball stays on the ground. Once again, the defense is there for the Wild Boars. And that was Billy Schreiber getting maybe a yard. Probably this is my bad right here, because I was telling you the last time when the Bucharest Titans played on this field against the Sofia Bears, we did not have only rain, we also had some hail, and it looks like the hail is becoming a classic here when the Titans are playing on Agromia field. Armstead, 3rd and 8. A lot of time, puts it deep, looking for Mustafa, but it is broken up. Stefan Milojevic got his hand on that football, and it is an incomplete pass. The Titans are going to be forced to punt it away. The wind is against them, so this is not going to be an easy punt. Bigo Mustafa needs to avoid a tackle. Now he's going to keep it, and that's a conversion. 1st down Titans. What a huge play by Bigo Mustafa, who moves the chains, and the Titans offense is coming back on the field. Nobody expected that, especially when they were forced to punt it away from their own end zone. I'm wondering if that was what they were hoping for, or if Bigo Mustafa just improvised when he realized he will not have enough space there to put it up in the air. 3 minutes left until the end of the first half. The ball stays on the ground. Schreiber breaks the tackle. Schreiber still on his feet. Schreiber keeps on going, and he is finally brought down. The tackle made there by Stefan Milojevic. Big gain here for the Titans. It is raining, the wind is against them, but they are not stop on fighting. They are still there. They're on the field here with Armstead. Keeps the ball again on the ground, and this is Schreiber right down the middle, but this time he has no chance to advance. And we have reached a 2 minutes warning on this game. This is a 21-6 game with 2 minutes left until the end of the first half. So after the 2 minute warning, Armstead, well pressured. Armstead trying to escape the sack. He won't, and he is brought down in his own 10. What a huge play here by the Wild Boars defense, bringing Armstead down. That's a loss of, I think, around 30. 30-yard sack here against the Bucharest Titans. The clock is still moving. Armstead, the ball on the ground and nowhere to go. Henry Ossie once again stopped. This time Kragujevac Lopez is the one who reaches him right away. That was also a loss of yards here. They're getting almost in their own end zone. The last time when they faced a fourth down from their own end zone, Bigo Mustafa was able to bail them out with a run. Right now Mustafa probably will kick that ball, if he will be able to do it. Trying to find some space, and the ball is kicked out of bounds. It slipped. It is very, very slippery in this wild rain here in Bucharest. So the Wild Boars are getting the football right into the opposing 10. Incredible conditions here in Bucharest, but it was anticipated. Everybody was expecting heavy rain. Also, we might experience some thunderstorms and lightning. That might change the schedule of this game, but so far it is only raining, so football will not stop in this rain. These are the modern day gladiators, and they're trying to put in again. This is Green, and this time he will bring it in himself. Touchdown Wild Boars. Isaiah Green with a rushing touchdown, and the coach is indicating they're gonna go for 2. So 27-6 the score in favor of the Wild Boars here. Well, that was a penalty here against Bucharest Titans. I'm hoping we're not experiencing technical difficulties with the sound here on this heavy rain in Bucharest. So the 2-point conversion will be replayed. Actually, the penalty was against the Wild Boars, but they're gonna still try to go for 2. Green in the end zone. It is incomplete. Broken up here by Bigo Mustafa, and it stays 27-6, and that's the end of the first half. So the Kragujevac Wild Boars, after the dominating win 2 weeks ago in Serbia, are doing so far the same thing here in Bucharest. Halftime in Romania field, 27-6 the score. 27-6 the score in Bucharest in favor of Kragujevac Wild Boars in week number 4 of the DAFL. The Wild Boars once again coming up with a dominating first half. The second one is gonna get underway very shortly with the Bucharest Titans ready to kick off. For the Wild Boars, Strajkovic, Lopez and Novakovic are waiting for the football on the return. Bigo Mustafa is going to be the kicker here for the Bucharest Titans. Still reigning in Bucharest. And we are underway with the second half. And that's going to be a touchback. A big kick here for Bigo Mustafa. And Isaiah Green, who was on fire during the first half of this game, is going to take the field for the first time in this second half. Green showing his entire offensive arsenal during the first half, putting the ball into the end zone through the air or even keeping it himself. Got the last touchdown of the first half with a run. And now they're gonna start from their own 20. The first play of the second half from their own 20, a low snap, the ball stays on the ground, and that's gonna be a big run here for John Rincon, who is brought out of bounds at the 40 by Bigo Mustafa. Almost a 40-yard run on the very first play on the second half. John Rincon moving the chains right from the get-go. First and 10 once again for the Wild Boars. They're gonna keep it on the ground again, and John Rincon this time goes into the middle, and that was a tackle. A tackle made by Vlad Tanase. No, my bad, that was Stefan Kalinkov, one of the Bulgarian players for the Bucharest Titans. Second and 10 coming up, and the game is stopped. I heard a whistle here. Well, yep. I was also a little bit surprised to say second and 10, but that was the marker. That was the problem there. The markers were not where they were supposed to be. This is actually a 2nd and 4. With the ball kept once again on the ground, Rincon moves on the right side and he is forced out of bounds by Cătălin Dinu. And looks like we also are having an injury of one of the referees. This doesn't look good at all. Well, nobody's safe here, so Unfortunately for Dejan Paunovic, the line judge, he is down here on the field and he needs some medical attention after getting into that clinch over there. This is something that you don't see often on the football field, but it is also part of the game. For the officials to get injured, looks like the leg is there the problem. It looks like he is able to bend the knee right here. It's going to be held up. He's going to need to go. I need to go to the ambulance. And get some extra attention from the medical team. Looks like he's in a lot of pain, actually. The game will have to continue without him. Looks like the knee is the problem right here. And the game will resume right here with the Kragujevac Wild Boars in the offense after the run by John Rincon. A run good enough to move the chains and bring another first down for the Wild Boars. They are now at the 28-yard line of the Bucharest Titans. 10 Wild Boars up on in this field in Bucharest. A split back here for Isaiah Green, Trajkovic Lopez and Rincon behind him, but Green will look for the pass and it is caught by Trajkovic Lopez, who breaks the tackle and gets another first down for the Wild Boars, depending on the spot. But looks like they're gonna give him the first down here. Officially a gain of only 8 for Elio Trajkovic Lopez. So no first down for the Wild Boars, but still a positive play for the Serbian team. Green from the shotgun. A man in motion here for the Wild Boars is Shundovic. Now looks like they're settled. John Rincon, the running back, gets the football, runs on the left side, and he gets into the 10. A 10-yard run for Rincon, another first down for the Wild Boars. They keep the chains on moving, and right now they're knocking on the door once again.
It's okay, keep it like this, keep it like this.
First and 10 from the 10. Recon in motion. Right now the defense for the Bucharest Titans prevails. Everybody was there, everybody next to the football. Not allowing anything here for the Wild Boars on that play. Green from the shotgun. Keeps the ball himself, but he is forced out of bounds for a loss. Number 29 from the Bucharest Titans, which unfortunately I also don't have it on the roster for today, is for the Titans trying to get some momentum at the second half. A loss of 6, 16 up for the Kragujevac Wild Boars. Green from the shotgun, a pump fake. Green stays on the pocket, escapes the tackle. Green, and I think he was out of bounds when he threw that. No signal yet. But he was out of bounds, so no touchdown here. Fourth down coming up. And looks like they're gonna go for it. Fourth and 16 for the Wild Boars. Once again, a risky move here for the Wild Boars, up by 21. This might be huge for the Titans defense. Green straight into the end zone, and it is another touchdown for the Wild Boars. Bogdan Chundovic, no problem receiving that football. No, my bad, it was Igor Jovanovic. Igor Jovanovic with the catch. His first touchdown in this game. Igor Jovanovic adding 6 more points on the board for the Wild Boars. So the score right now is 33-6. And an extra point coming up. Dimitar Novakovic waiting for the holder. Strahinja Milanic. And it is blocked. It is blocked, so the extra point is no good. It stays 33-6 in favor of the Wild Boars, but once again they are opening the second half in another positive note, scoring the touchdown. Igor Jovanovic with the catch after the great pass from Isaiah Green. Titans getting ready to receive the first football in this second half. Once again, Chad Turner and Henry Alte waiting for that football. The Titans down by 27. Trying to find something here on the very next drive, but everything starts with this kickoff. It is not really returnable, but they have to cover it up, and can you believe it? The Wild Boars are gonna have it again. Bogdan Shundovic gets on that football, and I was not anticipating this. I was telling you that the Bucharest Titans will have that first possession in the second half. That will not be the case because the ball was here recovered by the Wild Boars, and they gonna get it again from the opposing 23. So right after the touchdown, they kick it off, they get the football back. That was not an onside kick. That was a regular kickoff, but good enough executed in order for the Titans to make a mistake. And now the Wild Boars are playing it from the opposing 23. Isaiah Green in the shotgun once again. John Rincon next to him. Green with a fake. Green stays in the pocket, now goes on the left sideline, and he will keep it by himself for a gain of around 7. Isaiah Green with another positive play in favor of the Kragujevac Wild Boars. Officially a gain of only 4 in the end for Isaiah Green. 2nd and 6. Green dances in the pocket, accelerates. Green still up, breaks the tackle. Green, and finally he is brought out of bounds. A tackle made by number 29 from the Bucharest Titans. He was also held by Silviu Lungu. Good enough for a first down. 2nd and 10 here from the 11. Green scanning the defense with a lot of time. Green, a flag flies on the field. Green puts it into the hands of his receiver, but will have to wait for the penalty. Igor Jovanovic with the catch. That's a hold against the Kragujevac Wild Boars, so a 10-yard penalty against the Serbian team. Wild Boars trying to make some substitutions before the start of this second down. 2nd and 18 here. Isaiah Green keeps the football. A lot of zigzags here for him. And Green with nowhere to go this time. He is brought down by Stefan Kalinkov. A gain of maybe 1. 3rd and 17 probably, something like that. They can still get a first down without reaching the end zone if they get the ball to the 1-yard line. Isaiah Green once again from the shotgun. Rincon gets it. Rincon looking for some space, stops, changes direction, but there's nowhere to go. Another good tackle here for the Titans. Silviu Lungu once again with a finishing touch. Good enough for around 6 or maybe 7 yards here. The run from John Rincon. And the 4th down coming up. But so far in this game, Kragujevac Wild Boars were the most dangerous when they had to face up a 4th down. So when they took the risk and then when they went for it, not only they converted, but usually they scored a touchdown. Will that be the case here again? And there's a timeout here called by the Wild Boars. The rain right now here in Bucharest is really light after we experienced a heavy flood in the first half. Unfortunately, the field still has a lot of spots where it can become very slippery, so adjusting the cleats might be one of the most important part here in the second half. But I guess the players were already prepared for things like that. The forecast was not good, as I mentioned during the first half of this game. The Bucharest Titans were not lucky at all with the weather. Playing against the Bucharest Rebels after a week of heavy rain in Bucharest. That game was played on the Steaua Rugby Stadium. The field is covered by natural grass there and it was really slippery. Then they played here on Agromia field against the Sofia Bears, the other game at home, when during the 3rd quarter a heavy rain started and we had a lot of hail. And now also a very rainy day here in Bucharest for week number 4 in the DAFL. 33-6 in favor of the Kragujevac Wild Boars. We're gonna go for it once again on 4th down. 4th and 10 from the 11. Basically, they are back to the initial spot where they started here. There is Green with a man in motion. Puts the ball into the hands of Bogdan Shundovic, who accelerates, but not enough. And this time we have a turnover on the Bucharest Titans get the ball back. Right here the situation for the referee injured, for the official injured actually during this drive. It's not looking good, so he will not be able to continue this game as an official, and he barely can bend his knee. 1st and 10, Armstead keeps the ball on the ground, and that's a run by Henry Ossie. A gain of 2nd and 7 from their own 8, and the game is stopped. That was a false start against the Bucharest Titans. That's a 5-yard penalty. And they're going to be back down here. A very difficult spot for the Titans to continue this drive. High snap, the ball stays on the ground. Henry Osse trying to break the tackle, and he spins in order to gain some extra yardage here for the Titans. Gaining to the 11-yard line. This is a 3rd and probably 2. Third and 2 here for the Titans. They need these yards to get some confidence. The snap was once again a little low. Osse fighting for every single inch. And he's covered down eventually, but the call is a first down for the Titans. They are moving the chains. And this is the end of the 3rd quarter, so the 3rd one is in the books too. 33-6 the score. I don't think there's any question right now about the winning team on this one. Kragujevac Wild Boars once again dominating the game, but the only goal right here for the Bucharest Titans would be to gain some momentum before the next week and to find out the end zone once again. Maybe a touchdown, maybe some positive plays that can give them confidence for the last 2 weeks of the season. So 33-6 the score. 3rd quarter is in the books. The 4th one is coming up right now. After the run by Henry Osse, who moved the chains for the Bucharest Titans, a 1st and 10 is coming up from their own 18. Armstead in the shotgun. Henry in motion, gets the football. Henry breaks the tackle, but he will not escape the defense, and the Wild Boars once again covering the run. That's going to be a loss of about 6 yards. 2nd down up next. A very good tackle there made by Strahina Grujic, the linebacker for the Kragujevac Wild Boars, and as I mentioned before, this is a loss of 6 for the Titans. Second and 16, Armstead from the shotgun. This is a bootleg. Armstead looking, passing the football, and Bigo Mustafa, the intended receiver, got it. That's a complete pass from Armstead to Mustafa. A gain of 11 for the Titans. 3rd and 5 coming up. Armstead this time with Billy Schreiber behind him was the running back. Armstead, somebody moved, and the flags are flying right now. Probably that's going to be a false start against Bucharest Titans, so the 3rd and 5 will be converted in the 3rd and 10. If that will be the case, we'll have to wait and see if that was a false start, if they are calling an offside against the Kragujevac Wild Boars. But this isn't a false start. So a 5-yard penalty against the Titans. Same formation for the Titans. Armstead in the shotgun, Schreiber behind him. Armstead, well protected this time, puts it up and it is caught by Mustafa. The only question is, was that enough for 10 yards or he will be short? Mustafa limping on the sideline, and that's not a first down, so that was good for around 9 yards. Fourth down coming up, probably Titans gonna go for it. They don't really have anything else to play for. When you're down by 27 in a game like this against a team that is undefeated, you have to try it. You have to go for it here. 1, maybe 2 yards to gain for the Titans. Armstead from the shotgun, keeps it on the ground. Ase caught from behind, but looks like he will get it. Yep, that's a first down for the Titans. Henry Ase good enough to move the chains. First and 10 for the Bucharest Titans. The clock is still ticking. The Titans trying to play fast here, trying to conserve some time. Armstead scanning the defense, looking, putting the ball here on the sideline, and it is incomplete. Chad Henry, the intended receiver, well covered by Cyril Bonnet. And that will be a 2nd and 10 after the incompletion from Armstead to Henry. Armstead putting the ball into the hands of Henry Ase with a lot of patience, and Ase is keeping the first tackle, going right down the middle for the gain of 5. Third and 5 up next for the Bucharest Titans. Once again trying to keep the chains on moving. Henry Ase, the hero of the previous play, getting on the sidelines here. Billy Schreiber will take the running back position here for this 3rd and 5. Eight minutes left until the end of this game. Henry in motion. Armstead once again flushed from the pocket. The ball is right between the hands of number 17 from the Titans. It looked like he was pretty wide open, but he was not able to catch that football. It was also well covered there by Trajkovic Lopez, and probably he felt the pressure from behind, taking the eyes from the ball for a second, and sometimes this is really, really costly. Fourth and 5. Once again the Titans are going for it. And the flags are flying against the Titans for a false start. Number 64 is guilty for this one, Vlad Tanase. And the things just got more complicated here for the Titans. Now they need 10 yards to keep the offense on the field. Not an easy situation against a team like the Kragujevac Wild Boars. Even more than 10, probably 12 yards, so a 4th and 20. And it looks like they're also gonna need a timeout because they were not set. The offensive line was not ready for this play. And the game is stopped once again. less than 8 minutes left until the end of the fourth quarter. 27-point advantage in favor of the Wild Boars, who will stay undefeated after the week 4 of the DAFL. This is a clear message they are sending to the league right here. We are the team to beat, and we want the throne at the end of the season. Unfortunately, this week the game between the Sofia Bears and the Bucharest Rebels was cancelled, and the victory will be awarded to the Sofia Bears, and the Titans will not go for it here on the 4th and 10. Bigo Mustafa puts the ball high up, and it will be covered in the end by the Titans, and that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Wild Boars here. Matej Pange was next to that football, stopping it from its bounce. The Wild Boars back in possession from their own 20. Isaiah Green from the shotgun keeps it on the ground, and this time is Elio Trajkovic Lopez who pedals for about 5 yards here.
Bravo, Tibi! Right, go! Right, go! No, hey, right, wheel!
5-yard run here for Trajkovic Lopez. Second and 5. Isaiah Green playing from the shotgun again. Green has a wide open John Rincon on the sideline, and he is pushed out of bounds by Stefan Kalinkov. Right next to him was another player from the Titans. Stanchu ready to help Kalinkov if he was not able to do it by himself, but this time Kalinkov very well covered John Rincon. Still a gain of 3 for the Kragujevac Wild Boars, and the 3rd and 2 coming up. Green puts the ball into the hands of Trajkovic Lopez, and this is enough for a first down. A short gain, but they needed only 2 in order to move the chains. They got around 4. So the chains are moving, the clock is still ticking. First down, Wild Boars. First and 10 from their own 35. Isaiah Green communicating something with Trajkovic Lopez. Trajkovic Lopez gets the football. He pushes the pedal to the metal, and that's a gain of around 12 for Trajkovic Lopez. Another first down for the Wild Boars, who are keep chunking huge loads of field on every single play when they get an opening. So that's another first down for the Wild Boars. The ball placed almost at midfield.
Hey, Johnny, go all the way there. Let's make it. Go there. No more. Go there.
Green. Play action here. Green with a lob pass, and he flips it straight into the hands of Alexa Stevanovic. Another great connection for the Wild Boars. Stevanovic brings another first down for the Serbian team, and they are step by step getting closer to the end zone once again during this fourth quarter. This is gonna start from the Titans 26. Green looking on the right, puts the ball into the hands of the receiver, and a flag flies at the end of the play. That might be a late hit. We'll have to wait and see if that's an unsportsmanlike conduct against somebody from the Titans. So there's another penalty the officiating crew saw there. And this is exactly what I was expecting. That was a late hit. And the yards are going to be against the Titans. And that's also an automatic first down here for the Kragujevac Wild Boars. Going to get the football from the Titans 15. So first and 10 from the Titans, actually 13-yard line. And a timeout called by the Wild Boars. There's something the head coach wants to talk with his team. The next week the Wild Boars are playing against the Sofia Bears, while the Bucharest Titans are having a rematch with the Bucharest Rebels, the team they defeated at the start of the season. That was the very first official win for the Bucharest Titans. That was followed by another one against the Sofia Bears 2 weeks later. Unfortunately for the Titans, looks like Kragujevac Wild Boars is a very hard nut to crack. And right now a first and 10 for Green with a lot of time. Green flush from the pocket, throws as he moves, and it is between the hands of Alexa Stevanovic. Incomplete pass here, second and 10 up next.
Meni tu nešto kenješ, ti pevlite od dupe. Ja sam mislio ti si brzo.
Niko, ovo vreme, ne možete se vreme. Hej, Jardi.
This time pistol formation for the Wild Boars. Green with Trajkovic Lopez next to him. Green once again scanning the defense, puts it up on the end zone, and it is incomplete. That was a good play there by the Titans. It looks like Stanchu was able to cover the opposing wide receiver, and he is now happy with his play, breaking up the pass from Isaiah Green. Third and 10 for the Wild Boars. Same pistol formation, Isaiah Green with Kragujevac Lopez on his left hand. Green, this time will keep it by himself, and he is driving and thriving. Touchdown, Wild Boars. Isaiah Green refuses to go down, and he takes the ball all the way into the end zone, changing the board once again, 39-6, and they are going for 1. The initial call was they're going to go for 2, but right now they are switching it for an extra point. So 39-6 the score, extra point coming up for the Wild Boars after the 13-yard run from Isaiah Green. This is his second rushing touchdown on this game. And looks like he's going to try to take the football too. So Isaiah Green now will be the kicker. Strahinja Milenic the holder. And for the extra point, the ball is dropped and the play stops here. The extra point is no good. Unfortunately for Isaiah Green, Strahinja Milenic did not give him a chance at least to try to put that football between the uprights. So it stays 39-6 in favor of the Wild Boars. Probably not too many minutes until the end of this fourth quarter.
Dobro, tvoja želja je baš ono nerealna.
The game will resume now with a kickoff from the 30 in favor of the Wild Boars. Once again, Chad Henry and Henry Alsey waiting for that football in order to have a chance on the return for the Bucharest Titans. Right now they're fighting for their honor, and they are fighting to get some confidence before the next week game against the Bucharest Rebels that is coming up 2 weeks from now here in Bucharest. Schreiber is hit by that football, and now Schreiber, but the play is called dead already after the ball was controlled by Roșu when he was on the ground. So a good spot here for the Bucharest Titans to start this drive in the fourth quarter after a low kick from the Wild Boars. Right at their own 40s where the ball is placed right here. Sam Arnstead with Chad Henry in motion, gives it to Henry Alsey, and Alsey breaks the tackle and he might go, not yet. Brought from behind, but after a huge run, Stefan Milojevic with the tackle there. That's a 42-yard run, a 42-yard run here for Henry Alsey. A huge chunk on the field got by the Bucharest Titans running back, Henry Alsey, born in Ghana, a multinational team, this Bucharest Titans. Armstead here, once again, flush from the pocket, flips it up, but nobody's home. Closer for an interception was Stefan Milojevic, then a completed pass for the Bucharest Titans. There's a 2nd and 10 coming up here from the Wild Boars 23. Armstead again from the shotgun, and it was a miscommunication here. Armstead thought probably that Ose will come from the other way, and he was not able to hand off the football. Ose right now is called on the sideline by Kragujevac, the head coach. They were not on the same page right here, and Armstead eventually took the sack here. Alex Mihai just checked in as a running back, but also Schreiber is behind Armstead, who will put into Schreiber's hands. Schreiber breaks the tackle, keeps on going, and Schreiber is pushed out of bounds by John Rincon. That's a gain of... I'm still waiting. It might be good enough for a first down. They're still measuring it. And yep, that's a first down. That's a first down for Billy Schreiber. The Titans on the 11-yard line here of the Wild Boars. Armstead once again for Schreiber, who is met right on the handoff by George Peshut with a huge tackle. And there's a timeout here called by the Bucharest Titans after this great tackle by Peshut. A loss of 2 yards here for the Titans, and if I heard correctly, we still have 2 minutes and 20 seconds until the end of this ball game. Both teams with only one timeout left. So a little bit of more than 2 minutes to go. A 33-point advantage in favor of the Wild Boars. Definitely the better team today, as it happened last week when they won 42-7. But the Bucharest Titans looking for their second touchdown in this game. They need around 15 yards here to reach the end zone. Looks like the teams are set to resume the game here. Armstead from the shotgun, incomplete. Probably looking for Billy Schreiber, but there was a lot of pressure here brought by Wild Boars defense. And Armstead, who is still limping, gonna need to find something else in order to get first down or touchdown for Titans. And 15 coming up. Armstead here flips it up for Henry Ose, and Ose's broken. Lopez. That's a gain of around 1. 4th down coming up, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. So a 2-minute warning here, down by 33. The Bucharest Titans gonna try a field goal, as far as I'm right now seeing here on the field. It would be from this distance a 23-yard field goal, but Sam Arstead is coming back on the field, so they're gonna go for it. They're gonna keep the offense on the field. Sam Armstead good protection this time, right down the middle, and it is dropped by Chad Henry. I don't know if it was good enough for a first down. Actually, I think Henry would have been tackled right away, but still he dropped the football, so that's an incomplete pass. And the only question is if the Wild Boars are still going to try to do something. With only 1 timeout in their pocket, the Bucharest Titans are not really able to stop the clock enough, and the Wild Boars might take a victory formation and have a knee from Isaiah Green, or they might go for it and try to add some more points on the board, because this is why you are getting in that bus, and it takes around 10 hours to get from Kragujevac to Bucharest. So Isaiah Green will play it here on the ground, and this is a run for Kragujevac Lopez, who eventually is pushed out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Good enough for a first down. They're going to move the chains. First and 10 from the 26. A man in motion here for Green. That was Novakovic. Low snap, but Green got the football, and he is covered up by the defense, and some extracurricular activities not needed here, especially when the game is so already on ice. It was a little bit of extra activity there by Abdullah Al-Turki. No flags on the field, and Green was able to escape at the end. Nobody wants an injury right here in what it is actually garbage time. With the score on the board here, a 33-point advantage for the Wild Boars. Green will keep it himself. This is a run for around 5 yards. And one of the officials was signaling the medical team to get on the field. I don't think that's really necessary. There was a player down on the field, but nothing bad happened this time. The worst shot of the game was taken by one of the officials, unfortunately. Looks like there's a very bad knee problem here for Dejan Paunovic, who is still on the sideline. And now we have a timeout called by the Wild Boars. So basically the Wild Boars are sending a message that they would like to add some extra points at the end of this game, even though they're up by 33. They want to end the game on a high note and send a clear message here for the rest of the league. As we're taking a look over the standings right now, these two teams are set to play to the final if, of course, they will be able to defend the home field advantage that they are having right now. For the Wild Boars, it's pretty clear that they will finish first in the regular season. For the Titans, there's still a very important game away from home against the Sofia Bears, and of course the game against the Bucharest Rebels, which is a very dangerous team. Now the ball stays on the ground. Kragujevac Lopez escapes the first tackle, and in the end he is brought down at midfield. Stanchu once again, helped there by Mikola Smokov, the Ukrainian player for the Bucharest Titans, to stop the run, but not before Kragujevac Lopez getting into the Titans' territory. First and 10 here for the Wild Boars. They cannot snap it yet. And that's going to be victory formation. The knees down from Isaiah Green. And the Wild Boars will win it. And they will stay undefeated after the game here on Romania Field in Bucharest. 39-6 is the final score. So the Wild Boars improved to 4-0 on the standings, while the Bucharest Titans are going to be 2-2 after the 4 weeks of the Danube American Football League. There are a little bit of problems here with Silviu Lungu, who's trying to get into attack with one of the opposing players, but no harm done here, fortunately. So with a final score of 39-6, the Kragujevac Wild Boars defeat the Bucharest Titans. They stay undefeated in the DAFL. And with that, thanking you for joining us here today. My name is Cosmin Petrescu, and I'll say so long for now. I hope to be the voice for the next games here, if any of them will be played, and we'll have the possibility of broadcasting it for you. A 33-point win for the Wild Boars, undefeated in the league. Have a great Sunday, everybody. See you next time.